What's up, carnivores? Colin here, the Wild CEO, back for another video on the carnivore diet, short and sweet today. Something I realized 120 days into a carnivore diet, cheat meals have completely changed for the better. What am I talking about? Let's get to it. So quick backstory. I went to the first restaurant I've been to in 2 months. They had outdoor seating. They separated people, whatever. I sit down, local ingredients. They have some animal products on the menu, but a lot of it's plant-based. And so they had this salad trio. Well, the salad trio had a house salad with a shallot vinaigrette, some walnuts, maybe some goat cheese, maybe onion, very basic, plain. Then it had a tuna salad, and that had tuna, and there was like some raisins, maybe some nuts, and then probably a mayo. And then there was a chicken salad, and that similar. There was also then a pimento, which is like a mix of pimento and I don't know, maybe they put mayo in it, whatever else they put in it. And it was these 4 things on a plate, ice cream sized scoop of each. Small salad, scoop, scoop, scoop. I was like, okay, this is clean and these are pretty tasty. And so I get that, $12, whatever. And I eat it. And as I'm halfway through, I'm like, why is this so hard to finish? And I kind of like thought about it when I recognized it. And I was like, I feel really full right now. Like I think I feel bloated. I think my stomach is expanded. It can't even process out these different plant foods right now because I've been eating mostly carnivore for about 100 plus days right now. That's interesting. So to me, this almost feels like a cheat meal. And I actually kind of thought of it as a cheat meal. I was like, oh, I'm going to go to a restaurant and I'll get like a salad and maybe whatever protein dish they have. And yeah, if there's some plants here and there or some nuts and things like that, like whatever, I'll eat that. No big deal. In my past life, that would have been a normal, easy, healthy option. I couldn't even finish the meal. Now, you don't know me personally, but it's not often that I go to a restaurant and there's anything left on my plate. Like it almost doesn't matter what it is, unless I really, really, really don't like the meal. And this was tasty. They use local ingredients. They know what they're doing. They make meals. They present it right. It's way closer to the nice restaurant end of the spectrum than it is like a fast casual place where they just kind of drop things on a plate. This was a traditionally prepared, maybe even a classically trained chef was in the back. And it was a well-presented, tasty, well-made, good ingredients dish that didn't actually have a ton of vegetables. Like there were some greens, and then there were some pecans, whatever. There were some onions, maybe the mayo, probably had seed oil or canola or safflower or something. So that definitely disagreed with me. And maybe some goat cheese. And that was it. Literally, that's it. So I thought to myself, this is interesting because now when I think of a cheat meal, I don't think of Oreos or pastries or any of that really toxic food that I know would just completely knock me out. Like that's not even on my radar. And this is one of those hidden benefits of carnivore that nobody talks about. Your cheat meals on your spectrum, on this part of the spectrum, you have grass-fed, grass-finished steak, perfect, right? Best you can get. And then on this end of the spectrum, you have Coca-Cola and a pastry, just the worst of the worst, right? A lot of people still go to this end of the spectrum for their cheat meals. Their idea of a cheat meal is like the worst of the worst. For me though, and I think for most carnivores, when you go mostly carnivore for any period of time, your idea of a cheat meal is somewhere like way over here. So like we have healthy end of the spectrum, we have complete crap end of the spectrum. And your cheat meals get pulled way, 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 way closer to this end. Some people might even think just having some broccoli is a cheat meal. I'm not really at that level. I don't know if I will ever be at that level, but I could see some that are doing strict carnivore as broccoli being a cheat for them. And that's a good thing though. Broccoli's not going to ruin your life. Broccoli's not going to kill you. It might not agree with you, might give you some gas, things like that, but it's not going to do what these toxic foods are going to do. So this is a hidden secret benefit of carnivore that I didn't think about going into it. I've never heard anybody talk about it. It realigns your definition of a cheat meal. And by realigning it, it pulls you closer to the healthy end of the spectrum and you're better off for it. So the other primary treat that I have, which I kind of don't even think of as a cheat meal at this point because I don't respond negatively to it and it's good. I can't keep it in the house because I eat it way too much. I find myself even waking up in the middle of the night if I'm still hungry and I'll just, like a zombie, I'll just get 2 scoops. It's Rebel ice cream. This stuff's phenomenal. If you're doing any kind of dairy in your diet, I'd recommend trying this brand. It's just amazing. Just be careful. If you buy it, if you keep it in your freezer, it won't last. It'll go fast. It can be an expensive habit. It can also be a calorically expensive habit. So keep that in mind. So if you're trying to lose weight, I don't recommend doing this. But this is a food that is basically ice cream that I don't really consider cheat. I think in a healthy carnivore-based diet, having something like this could fit into that on a semi-consistent basis. Like if I buy a tub of Breyers, like I know I'm not doing myself any favors whatsoever, but this Rebel, it's got some, I believe it's monk fruit or stevia, or maybe it's a blend. They use good ingredients. They talk about their sourcing and everything. It's not organic, but whatever, that doesn't really mean anything today. Organic's not what it used to be when it first came out. But I know that from my own biology and understanding that when I eat Rebel, I never ever feel bad. Like I've never felt bloated or tired or lethargic once from eating that. And usually for me, that's a sign that they use really good ingredients. When I eat products that have less than stellar ingredients, my body feels it. I'm very attuned to knowing that. And so that's why I was actually surprising with that meal at that restaurant. They're sourcing local ingredients. They probably had some seed oils and maybe some canola or vegetable or something that I don't eat. So that could have definitely been contributing to causing the bloat. But I just think that my gut is just not used to eating those foods. And I probably did bloat. I probably did swell in my stomach pretty quickly as kind of a sign like, hey, what are you doing? You're not supposed to eat this. Or, you're eating too much of this. If you want to have a few bites of some greens on the side or broccoli.
In addition to your steak, that's fine. But don't be just stuffing vegetables down your pie hole.
And that's my biology talking, basically. So this is a cool benefit of carnivore. Cheat meals has been something that I've been covering a lot lately because I've been finding myself at the 100 to 120 day mark craving some of these foods a little bit more. So I've been kind of experimenting where they can fit into my diet. Some people can do cheat meals. Some people can't. Completely ruins them or kicks them off. For me right now, there are some negative effects like headaches and maybe my sleep is interrupted. If I do it too often, like if I'm eating at really crappy restaurants, when I first started carnivore before we went into quarantine, I went to 2 restaurants in a row. I had pizza and then I went to a sushi place the next day and I actually got sick. Like physically I got a cold because my immune system was so destroyed. And so I'm not doing things like that, but I'm experimenting where I can have like gluten-free pizza, or maybe they made some broccoli and I want to have a little bit of it or whatever. So let me know what you think about this. Have your cheat meals been moved towards the healthy end of the spectrum? And has your perception of what a cheat meal is changed for the better? I suspect it has. And that's one of those hidden benefits of the carnivore diet that if you haven't started carnivore, you should, or at least flexible carnivore. You don't have to go strict carnivore. You don't have to eat just meat or just steak, but you do want to go for animal-based nutrition. It is the optimal way for humans to eat. And then you can sprinkle in the certain non-toxic foods, certain plants here and there, maybe some sweet potatoes, maybe some Rebel ice cream, whatever. And then you can listen to your body and see what it tells you. That's it for today's video. Like and subscribe, drop a comment below. Let me know, what's your perception of a cheat meal? Since you've been doing carnivore, has it changed? And hopefully for the better. And if you do have a cheat that you're kind of defaulting to, let me know what that food is below. I'm curious. I'll see you in the next one. Hey, Colin here. Thanks for watching that video. I got a free PDF for you, The 7 Principles of Living Wild. Short and sweet, not long, not gonna be a novel you have to read or anything, just a simple reference of the things that make you a healthy human. So click on the button below, get that right now, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.